Are you wondering if it's better for you to rent or buy a home in Fremont, California? Well, today we're going to break down and compare the rental market to the housing market, including the costs, so you can decide if it's better for you to rent or to buy a home right now. Hi, this is Carlos, a local realtor in Fremont, California. I create videos about what it's like to live here in Fremont. If you're moving or have any questions, please make sure to reach out. Now, let's talk about renting versus buying. So let's talk about Fremont market right now compared to the last few years. The best way to predict the market is to go through the history. Data is everything, it's super important. Data speaks to you. So let's go back only 5 years. We don't have to go back 20 years. 5 years, which is nothing. I have people say, let me wait. Before you know, 5, 6, 7 years pass by. So let's talk about historical data back to 2019. The average rent on one bedroom apartment was at $2,200 per month. One bedroom apartment, nothing huge. A two bedroom apartment, $2,800 per month. And the median home price, about $1 million. Medium, nothing fancy. We're looking at sometimes 3 bedroom, 1 bath, 1.5 in some cases, not even 3.2. That's medium. Now, fast forward to 2024. Average rent, 1 bedroom apartment, $2,600 per month, and a 2 bedroom apartment, $3,300 per month. In some cases, that can be more than half of your mortgage, $3,300 per month. Median home price, more or less same house, again, nothing fancy, 1.4. That's what it is right now. Now, let's talk about the annual appreciation. So rent appreciation for this case study I'm looking at right now. 1 bedroom, we're discussing from $2,200 to $2,600. That's an annual appreciation rate at about 3.41, which is a lot. The 2 bedroom apartment in the same year, 2019 at $2,800, now is $3,300. That's a 3.36 appreciation on the rent. Now, let's analyze the rental cost of a single family homes in Fremont over the past 5 years compared to the median prices from 2019 to 2024. The median rent for single family homes in 2019 was about $3,500 per month. Fast forward to 2024, the median rent for the same house in Fremont is about $4,500. And that's in the low end. I see listings $5,000 a month. And it's renting, okay? That's a mortgage payment by itself. Now, in summary, from $3,500 to $4,500, that's a $1,000 difference in only 5 years. Again, annual appreciation rate, 5.12. Now, let's talk about the estimated rents for 2025, only 1 year later. Now, using the same calculation, we're looking at an estimate of $730 for the same house. Think about that. That is, again, if you are renting because you have no choice at the moment, I'm totally with you. I was a renter myself at one point, but I created that urgency that one day I'm gonna have to, pay rent to myself. Think about it, whatever you pay in rent, even if your rent is less expensive, it's doing you a disfavor because in your mind you are saving when in fact you're not building equity. I know everybody's case is different, so please don't take this as a lecture or anything like that. No, the opposite. This is a friendly discussion about the difference between renting and buying, short and long term. So if you were to be paying right now anywhere from $4,500 to $5,000 or more, you are already paying a mortgage, but it's somebody else's mortgage, not yours. The idea with these examples is to more like an eye-opener. I have clients that told me, I don't want to buy because I'm moving or I'm going back to my country or I'm moving out of the state. I have the same client coming back 5, 6, 7 years. The worst case I think was 10 years. They never move and they rent for an additional 10 years. Think about that. Think about the equity that you will accumulate in those 10 years in your own home. Obviously, you got some tax breaks. In addition, you're not gonna get that letter in the mail saying you have 30 days to move. Best case scenario, 60 days to move. I get those calls every month. I got a letter in the mail, I have to move my family. And it's really drastic. I mean, it's not the end of the world, but it's not fun. Moving is a mess. We all know that. But moving for the right reasons is different. But having to move to rent to another place, that's not fun. Period. That's not fun. Let's talk about the implication for renters and buyers. For renters, short-term relief. Rents may be experiencing a little stable rent increase in the immediate future. So again, with a projected raise of around $4,730 per month by 2025, that's going to cost you per month, okay? Long-term challenges, again, continued renting appreciation may take even higher, making it more difficult for renters to afford a single-family home, leading to potential housing instability and financial strain. Why? Why? Because it is better to own if you can afford. And I always say, go to the entry level if you can and start with a nice small condo. That's most of my buyers are doing that when they're starting up. Now, if you happen to be in the buyer seat right now, there's a great investment opportunity. The steady increase in rent prices indicates a strong demand for rental properties, meaning that purchasing a single family home can be and will be a solid investment, providing potential rental income and property value appreciation. So again, some people decide to, you know what, I'm doing really well. I was able to accumulate some equity. I'm gonna pull out some equity, and instead of selling, I'm actually gonna use the equity to what? To buy my next home, and I'm gonna rent this property. I have client who owns multiple properties. That's a beautiful thing to do because that's the only business that I know of that you can make money, take appreciation, take tax breaks, and you don't have to open it at 7, 8 in the morning. You don't have to close at 8 or 9 p.m. You don't have to. But literally, it's another business working for you. Now, there are some affordability concerns as home prices and rent costs continue to rise. That's where we are. So it's critical that affordability remains very difficult for buyers. Now, the good news, as you probably noticed, the interest rate start to go down. Where I believe right now with a 6.25%, if I'm not mistaken. That's really good news. And I heard over rumors on the industry, really good rumors, one of those that is good, that we may go up down to the low 5s. That is very good news. What we're having right now is a very small window of opportunity. I keep telling my buyers, please create a sense of urgency. Right now you find homes in some cases where they're not gone over the weekend, and sometimes they stay longer, especially if they are a little overpriced. So we experience a little bit of a price correction, and even after the price correction, we still having increase in equity from last year to this year. That is incredible, especially for Fremont. The window of opportunity that we have, either there are less competition as far as buyers, and the moment that the rate goes down in the low 5s, we're gonna have an avalanche of welcome, beautiful buyers that they're gonna compete for the low inventory. That is nothing new for the Bay Area, and that you're gonna experience again the overbidding by thousands of dollars. A lot more to the savings reflected on the rate you were willing to wait for. So this is what I'm saying. The benefit of buying as soon as possible is in the fact that the market is a little bit on hold. The moment the rate goes down, we're gonna have an avalanche of buyers, and they will create stronger demand, making difficult to get into a house. I was able to help a client this month to get into a beautiful home in Berkeley, by the way, without overbidding. That was like a dream come true. Not only we didn't overbid, we're able to get a huge amount of credits for items and miscellaneous based on discoveries on the investigation of the house. Bottom line, the buyer, my client, is super happy. He got a great deal on a beautiful home. Why? Because he saw the momentum. Thankfully, he listened. He saw the momentum and he said, you know what, let's do it. So because the house was in the market, a little overpriced, already experienced one-time price reduction, which is golden, because that shows the willingness of the seller to potentially discuss price. And by no means we were lowballing the offer, because that's not a good policy either. No, it was a clean offer, reasonable offer, with some beautiful credits, again, reflecting the condition of the home. Bottom line, we're closing in 2 weeks. My client is super happy. That comes with experience. So again, anyways, the bottom line is this: be a little more aggressive on your search. Find the right agent and get into a home as soon as possible before the rates go lower. And guess what? If the rate goes lower, refinance. It's really that simple. The cost of the refinance is a lot less than having to overbid on a home over $100,000, $150,000. That I assure you. So think about it. If you can afford a home right now, you may want to jump on it. Just get good terms. There are new loans out there, more product, by the way. I've seen people getting 40-year loans. You think 40 years is too long. Well, it will give you flexibility. You can always pay off earlier. And that's another beautiful topic that I can cover. You can cut your mortgage term by 10 years, 8 to 10 years, without changing your payment. Yes, that is correct. So again, another discussion for that. Super easy. A lot of my clients are doing it. I'm doing it, and it works. Okay. So in conclusion, over the past 5 years, the rental prices for single-family homes in Fremont have increased at an annual rate estimate of 5.12. Now, this is going to continue. is expected to continue with the median rent to be projected to rise again to the $4,730 that I mentioned by 2025. So what's going to happen? People who cannot afford to buy at the moment, they're going to have to rent, and they're going to have obviously to rent at the prices of the market. So again, rent's gonna go up. Why? Demand for rental units. That's the way it is, okay? The potential for those of you who are in the position to buy is that you're gonna have an appreciation. It's gonna be, the appreciation is gonna be steady and it's gonna continue. So in home appreciation summary, we have median home price jumping from 1 million in 2019 to 1.4 million in 2024. Think about that. That's almost 7% appreciation, okay? That's incredible. So what are the estimations for 2025? Again, going back to 2025, we don't need to go forward 10 years. Only 1 year, the rent is gonna go up. 1-bedroom apartment, $2,600, and 2-bedroom apartment is gonna be about $2,688. That is crazy. And a 3-bedroom apartment, anywhere between $3,300 to $3,800. Now, a house is gonna be going at least for $4,500, and this is next year, which is what? Barely 5 months away. That's nothing. Talk about what's gonna happen to the median home price in Fremont. Right now it's 1.4 million. The estimate price on 2025 with appreciation of 7%, and that's very conservative, it's gonna be 1.497. Think about that. That's another $100,000. It's almost like you have somebody working, if you were to own that property, somebody working for you full time, and is making you an additional $100,000. That's what it is, without even counting the tax breaks. It's incredible. So in conclusion, over the last 5 years, rental costs and home prices in Fremont have significantly appreciated. The average annual appreciation again on rents 3.4 and on home ownership 7% per year. So based on these trends, the rents are only gonna go up. Home ownership again is gonna be only by next year 1.497. And again, this is conservative, so potentially even higher. Is this a good thing or a bad thing? Well, again, let's talk about potential for buyers, okay? Pros for buyers: equity building. As home values appreciate, homeowners build equity. That's a financial asset right there. Investment, yes, it can be a really good investment. Why? Because there is high demand in areas like Fremont. This will increase property values and it will be substantial returns over time. Stability, by all means, owning a home always provides stability in terms of housing costs, fixed rates on mortgage. The most beautiful thing, homeowners are not subject to rent increases. If you are investing, the gradual and steady rental increments is obviously good for your investment. Now let's cover cons. High entry costs. You need to have a good down payment. It's gonna take money, obviously. Down payment, closing costs, and other miscellaneous fees can be up there, okay? With a median home of 1.4 million, 20% down payment alone is $280,000. So as home prices rise, affordability becomes a significant issue, making it challenging for first-time home buyers and those with limited budgets. So, be very frugal. You can sacrifice a little bit and put your money together. You don't wanna be renting for a long term. That's the bottom line. Now let's talk about market risk. Again, the real estate markets can fluctuate. Nobody has the crystal ball. We can only go by data. That's why we have data from past economic behaviors as close as 5 years. So this is telling us that in the best case scenario, it will continue increasing. Price and rents will continue increasing. I probably mentioned this before. I've been in the market as a full-time real estate broker for 30 years. I know, probably longer than some of you are alive at the moment. That's how long I've been doing this. I've seen 4 market crashes. Yes, 4 different market crashes. And every single time the economy rebounds and the prices not only go back to where they were, but they go up higher, even higher, pre-crash. Think about that. It happens every single time. And especially in Fremont and in the Bay Area. But in Fremont, when we have those changes because of the strong demand, the corrections are minimum, sometimes no more than 10%. Think about that. So is there a risk? Of course. Yes, there can be a risk, but it's not a huge risk. Number one, you are using your investment. You are living in your investment. Think about that. You need to have a roof for you and your family regardless. So why not your own, right? So again, economic changes, yes. There will be some corrections, yes. Will affect home values, yep, agree 100%, but it will rebound. And also remember, the housing market, when you invest in a home, is a long term. We can't speculate that, oh, you're gonna make this in this month. In 3 months, no. Long term, the average family is staying in their home 7 to 10 years. That's a good number of years. And it goes fast, by the way. Now for renters, let's talk about renters. Pros, okay, flexibility. For somebody who is not ready or choose not to purchase, they have the flexibility to move without any complex movements, selling a home, putting it in the market. That can be an advantage. Again, if you happen to need to relocate for work or other reasons, or you move a lot, then you say, you know what, I'm just gonna keep renting because I wanna move fast, like in a month, a year. Now a lease, right now you can get a lease for less than a year, sometimes 2 years. So everybody's situation is different. And this is again towards different scenarios to help you realize in your particular situation, am I in a good position to buy right now? Can I purchase a home? Why don't I start with a condo? Why don't talk to a family member? Maybe we can get a duplex. I've seen that happening a lot. That's another video altogether. Duplex, great investment. One family is like cutting your mortgage in half. Really good idea, very good idea. Think about it, okay? The entry level as far as cost for renters is really low. You need normally the first month rent, security deposit, maybe some small upfront fee, but obviously a lot less compared to buying a house. As far as maintenance, renters are typically not responsible for property maintenance and repairs. And that can save you money, again, in the meantime. Now let's talk about cons as far as renters. Rising rents, for sure. The increase in rent cost continues and it's gonna strain your budget. Over time, it's gonna be harder and harder to save that money for either investment in other areas or saving for your down payment. And the worst part, no equity. Why? You pay somebody else's mortgage. You cannot use your mortgage payment, the interest you pay, you cannot use it for deductibles. You can even use, nowadays, a lot of people work from home. Obviously, you need to talk to your accountant, tax preparer, and they will let you know that you're able to deduct portion of that mortgage payment if you happen to use one of the rooms or areas of the home as a working station. That's exactly what I do. That's what I'm doing right now. And I get to deduct a portion of that expense because I'm using it for work. So that's against, I'm not an accountant by no means, but I'm letting you know things that you can be useful. So talk to your accountant, ask those questions. I'm sure they will direct you in the right direction. So the worst part is not being able to benefit from property appreciation. That's the worst part, unfortunately, okay? As far as instability, unfortunately, not only renters may face rent increase, but also the possibility that they have to move. We covered that. That's the worst letter you can open, unfortunately. And it happens more often than you think. And sometimes it happened for a reason. And I have some of my clients that they say, if I never got that letter, I wouldn't be buying. So that letter forced me to buy. Again, mindset, everything happened for a reason. In conclusion, the appreciation in rent and home prices in Fremont has a dual impact. For those who can afford to buy, it can be a very valuable investment, while for renters, it can mean increasing costs without the benefit of building equity. So the best choice depends on individual financial situations. Long-term goals, personal circumstances, everybody has a different circumstances, so I totally get it. This is more directed toward the possibility that you can entertain. Maybe if you put your mind to it and really get focused on making this a must, everybody starts somewhere. Everybody, including me, start renting, then before you know, found a small home, boom, first home, okay, great, or first condo, and go from there. Start somewhere. Case study on what it will be the cost to purchase a home in Fremont, California, taking into consideration the medium sales price of these ways to get it. If you are a little creative, it's gonna cost you a little more. You may get some incentive from the seller if you can, but hopefully we get there within the next 6 months, maybe a year, or you can potentially talk to the loan officer and find out if there is any way to get a 5-year fix where you can actually get it, or you can do a buy down, which is buying the rate. There's always creative ways to do it. Property taxes, about 1.25 of the home value, and homeowners insurance, an average of $1,200 per year. So let's summarize the cost. Down payment $280, closing costs about 2.5 of the home value, $28,000, all the way to, let's say, $42,000. The total investment about $280, which is the down payment plus the closing costs. Total $322,000. Let's talk about the monthly cost. What will be the cost to maintain a house in that medium price range? So using a mortgage calculator, and I did these calculations earlier, a mortgage rate again at 4%, 30-year, 1.12 loan amount, monthly payment about $5,347. Property taxes for that same property, 1.25, which is about $17,500. That's $17,500 per year. So what we do is that take the monthly tax and we divide it by 12, and it's about $1,450 $1,258 for property taxes. Homeowners insurance, again, $1,200, which is about $100 a month. The total monthly cost for that particular home: mortgage payment, $5,347, property taxes, $1,458, homeowners insurance, about $100, and maintenance. It's good to talk about maintenance. There is always small repairs. Again, it's good to have a little caution on the side in the event that you need to run some maintenance. So $250, that's average. So total monthly cost for a medium home in Fremont, $7,155 estimate. The annual cost, taking that amount times 12, is about $64,164, and in property taxes, $17,500, homeowners $1,200 to $1,500, and maintenance costs about $3,000. So the average annual cost to maintain that home is an estimated total of $93,864. That's the cost of owning a home for a year, right? Now, let's go to 5 years. The total cost for the cost in 5 years, getting all the mortgage payments, about $320,820, property taxes $80,500, homeowners insurance about $6,000, maintenance costs about $15,000. Total 5-year cost $429,000 for 5 years. What I'm trying to demonstrate with this case study is that the total cost for 5 years, what it's gonna be versus the actual equity built up on the same 5 years. So you can see where or how much equity you can build in only 5 years, not 15, not 20, 5 years. So the total investment over 5 years, from down payment and closing costs, $322,000. The 5 year of maintaining the house, mortgage payments and everything else, right? $429,320. Total investment, including initial costs and the 5-year cost to maintain the house, $751,320. It looks like a big number. Yes, it is. But let's talk about the potential equity appreciation. Being conservative, home value appreciation, annual 6.96, that's 7%. Think about it. This is very conservative. I don't know if you saw my other video when I mentioned the top 10 cities in the Bay Area, and Dublin last year appreciated a whooping 21%. I mean, this is last year. This is not 10 years ago. It's crazy. So when we say 7%, that's very conservative. But it's good to use conservative numbers. So the home value after 5 years, 1.4 times the 7% equals 1.976. So the equity build, let's talk about the equity build. We take the down payment, right, to about $280, and we also need to take into consideration the amortization schedule where the equity has built up because obviously you're paying off your mortgage. So it's about $100,000 that the mortgage went down, plus the appreciation gain all the way to 1.976 at 7%. So you take 1.4 million price minus the projected appreciation gain in 5 years, and now you have $576,000 in equity alone. Total equity accumulated on your favor is $956,000. Think about that, $956,000. If you were to be renting, that number wouldn't exist. It's just the way it is. In summary, the estimated equity after 5 years, appreciation of the home is 1.976. So the total equity, your money, after 5 years, $956,000. So I don't know about you, but it's very difficult to save from pure savings, putting I don't know how much money on the side, depriving yourself from pretty much everything to save $956,000 in savings. That is not easy. But if you have a home, based on the case study, these numbers are real. This is actual numbers from what we have today going on in the market. Give and taken, it's very close. 956, that is incredible. In conclusion, over a 5-year period, the cost of purchasing a home is estimated to be $751,320 in 5 years. That's what it costs. However, the estimated equity built over the same period of time is $956,000. And this is again assuming a consistent appreciation rate, which, as we already know, it can go a little lower, but it can also go a lot higher. Therefore, using 7%, in my opinion, in my humble opinion, is very conservative. So what I'm suggesting is that purchasing a home in Fremont or anywhere in the Bay Area, but especially in Fremont, can be a very lucrative investment. Despite that it's expensive to get in, just to start, it's expensive. One thing for sure, and that's why we have so much demand here in Fremont, is that your investment is secure. And you're gonna be extremely happy that in a few years, you're gonna look back and say, I'm glad I did what I did. You cannot remorse, oh my goodness, you have not buy. I don't think so, no. Remember, you need to have a place to live. So regardless that the market has a correction, which is again going to be very low, you're still going to be ahead. So let's talk about trends and forecasts. So with the recent decreases in rent, because we did have one in the last part of 2023, but then these rent prices got a significant increase all the way back in November. So think about it. The decline took place, yes, but because of the increase of demand, those rents are going back up again. And this is according to real estate investments, and you can find it anywhere on the internet, okay? So what are the predicted increases in rent for 2025 and 2026? You guess it, up. They're expected to rise again. They're gonna keep going up, even though we have a new apartment supplies, they're gonna be covered, they're gonna be full, and the market is gonna shift from oversupply to undersupply. And that's what we have in the last 10 years, undersupply. And one more thing, we don't see that much construction going on. We don't. I haven't. I mean, there are very few in between. People are a little skeptical, but those houses sell. A lot of people love purchase brand new homes because they appreciate incredibly well. That never fails either. The forecast suggests that renters may face increase in the cost of living, yes. In the coming years, even if the market stabilizes, if the demand remains strong, rental housing is gonna continue going up, just the way it is. Nothing new, but it's a reminder of what's gonna happen. So what's gonna happen for renters? Maybe a little short-term relief, it's gonna be temporary, but for sure, increase in rents. That's the way it is. The long-term challenges for the rents starting in 2025, that's gonna be a challenge. Let's talk about buyers. Buyers can count with steady appreciation. The median home price we already covered went from 1 million in 2019 to 1.4 million in 2024. Again, average of 7%, very, very conservative number. This is gonna continue to go up. As far as investment properties, Fremont cannot get any better for a strong investment opportunity given historical appreciation rates. This is looking at data. You can go back, the more you go back, the more shocked you're gonna be because we have serious increase in equity. Anybody that is listening to me and you've been in your home for 10, 15 years, 20 years, you know you have literally double, if not more. And that data is available. So let's talk about the economic factors and when we wrap this up, okay? Let's talk about the US housing market direction. 2024 to 2025 will be definitely influenced by interplay between job market stability and housing affordability, as well as inventory levels. Experts predict a mild recession, others expect a soft landing, and that will maintain the health growth in the area. I feel that it will be a soft landing because there is a really good demand, continued demand. I do believe that the market is gonna, even with a small correction, it will continue being a really good market. Interest rate, hopefully they're gonna continue going down. That's almost a fact. And if that's the case, it's gonna help a lot of buyers and affordability will be better. But that rate doesn't go down, then it's gonna be a challenge for a lot of people because the purchasing power is gonna go down. Most important, if you're able to get in, you're gonna have some substantial equity gains. And that's what I want you to focus on. Even if you raise temporary higher, remember, you can always refinance. If you're renting or buying in Fremont, I know this is a big decision, but remember, there is no one size that fits all answer. The perfect choice depends on your unique lifestyle, financial goals, and personal preferences. And if you're thinking about buying a home anywhere in Fremont and want to work out the numbers to see if it makes sense for you, make sure to give us a call or text me. We'd love to help you and be your local resource, just as we have helped so many other families. If you are convinced about moving here, check out our other videos and feel free to reach out. Any questions are welcome. We'd love to help. Thank you for tuning in this week, and we'll catch you in your next week's video. Thank you.